I've always believed that, people can be, people will be happy for you. If you buy a house, if you buy a new car, they will come and tell you, oh, you've done really well. And I realized just because I have this mentality doesn't mean that everyone else has it. And I'm a positive person, and I've always seen people in a positive way. But I've realized that there's a level of jealousy that people have, and oh, look at this seagull. We are all just commoners, right? We're not, and I've said this before. I said that we here that we working class, and everyone works, but people that, the so-called middle class, not even middle class, because they're sort of like low to middle class, that people that we still have a house, we still have to pay for a mortgage, we still have to pay for a car, we still have to do things like this. We all are there, like on that level, right? We don't have freedom to express ourselves in a way. If we don't want to listen to the government or something like that, we can't really go along and tell, oh, I'm not gonna listen to you anymore. We don't have that power to do something like that, you see? Because we don't have the financial freedom in order to do that. Only if you're rich, you can do that. So then, when you talk to someone, when you talk to your colleagues, or you talk to someone that you and they see that you've got a new car, I've realized that they always have to find something that, oh, you don't own that car, you lease the car? Well, why is it that you pay so much? Or why is it that it's so expensive? Or why is it that you drive that? Is there a reason? Instead of, they ask you all these questions, they ask you a lot more questions than the police will ask you. And, why do you live in that house? Or how did you, why do you need something that big? Or why do you, all these questions that, instead of thinking, and they just rent a room in a flat, or they barely have or they rent a flat, they don't even own a flat, or they don't even own a car, then, And instead of being jealous and having this, why do they not just say, look, why they're not happy for you? You see, again, it comes down to what they consume, what they read, and what they watch, and then they don't know how to react when someone has these things and tells them, look, I've just bought a new car, I've just bought a new flat, I just did this, I did that, I've got a new job. No, instead they just got the opposite, and they feel like, and most people are like this, I've always said that, no, people are like good and they're like this and that. No, I've changed my mind. You see, most people that you speak to, they're just not happy. Somehow they're happy because of what you achieve. And now I understand, the more I talk to random people and to the commoner, to the low to middle class people. I mean, most people are not even in the middle class. Most people think they're in the middle class, but they got to realize that if you rent a room in a house full of other people, you don't own absolutely anything, you're nearly 30 years old, you're poor, you barely work, you work to survive. But yet most of these people are very arrogant. You give them an advice, or someone else gives an advice. Like, we get customers that are millionaires, they get an advice from them, someone's trying to talk to them, and and they don't even listen because they think they know it all. They think they know so much more. They're very arrogant as well. I've realized that normal people, like poor people, working class people, are very arrogant. If not, they're very I don't want to say evil, but they are in a way, because they don't really want to contribute anything. They moan about work. They always complain that that they don't like their work, they don't like to do this. They always complain about the fact that they don't have what the people have, but they're never happy if someone else tells them, look, I've got this. It makes you think how they are. And that's what I've realized. This is the truth. It's no more being, And how do you understand that this is how they function? And no wonder why the elites, no wonder why rich people look down at other like normal people, poor people, because they understand how arrogant certain people are. And we are taught from a young age, especially in movies, and the poor people are humble and they read and they look. No, they don't read. They never look to learn any new skills or to have any knowledge. They don't care about like sharing things or or helping others. They only care about themselves. And when I say like people nowadays, even like someone, like I said, someone that owns a room in a house, but if you tell them that they're poor, and most of the guys that I work with, they've got £100, and they still got 10 days left before they get their wage. They think no, we're not poor. I'm not poor. I think to myself, you don't have any money. You earn zero. Most of them have their credit cards maxed. They need to pay monthly on their credit card so they can cover. And you telling me that you're not? You see, this is something. Then when someone tells you, look, I've just got a new car. I work hard for it, and I've got a new car. And then they say, oh well, do you really have to pay that much for that car? Do you think that car suits you? Like this kind of like questions, or this kind of like or instead of saying well done, this is what I want to do as well. Instead of driving this car that I've had it for the last 40 years, it's got so much smoke coming out of it, I want to have something like you have, for example. That's what I said to people that bought new cars. I said to someone came to me and says, I've got a new car. I said, you know what, congratulations, it looks beautiful. You know what, one day I wish I can have the same car as you. And you know what, a day came when I managed to get a similar car to what they have. So what they had, just by being positive and saying thank you, and I'm saying thank you, just saying, give them compliments. But this is what I've realized, it's a very, I'm trying to understand, and since I've been making this YouTube video, I'm trying to understand, and I'm trying to speak about what I see and how the society works. And I've always believed that, again, that is the government fault, that we are controlled and we deserve more, and we do so much for the society. But in reality, it's all an illusion, because we don't do anything for the society. We don't do anything for each other. We always moan. We complain about the work that we do. We complain about going to work. We're never happy. We want to be somewhere else. So we're never happy where we are. And if someone gives you an advice, we get annoyed, because who is that person to give us an advice about life or how to do better? And we always lie to ourselves. We think that we are a bit better because we are arrogant, because our ego is very big, because we rely very much on improving on the ego. That's what we rely. That's what most people rely on, I suppose. I don't know, they have this massive ego, and then they think, oh, someone told me that I'm poor. Well, I'm not. Well, you are. The moment you realize this, and that's what I've realized as well, I was like, you know what, I've got no money, I'm broke. I need to do something. And that's when I started to realize I need to learn to read, to write. I've learned how to, and I've started reading books. I've started to read about how society works. And the more I read, the more I understood how it works. And I've understood also how people are. And I was wrong all the time. I was wrong because I've never seen, because I had no knowledge, you see. And I always, like I said, I always blame, the government was, but I never realized that it was me, that I didn't do anything. I brought no value to this world. No value whatsoever. It was just my own existence. I didn't even smile. And then I realized I need to smile. I need to know things. I need to say, I need to be happy for people. These are the things that I started doing. Is this guy good? And I'm just on the roundabout here, and he's got so many cars. So yeah, but I'll just subscribe. If you like to hear more, subscribe and I'll make more videos. I'm gonna go on the motorway now, so I'll make another one when I'm on the motorway.